Before the video starts, I just want to specify that almost all the books I talk about were sent to me as review copies from the publishers, and that doesn't affect my opinion in any way, but I'm just required to say that yes, most of these books were sent to me for free. Anyway, enjoy the video. Okay, so today I thought it would be fun to do a tier list. I've been seeing these all over YouTube, and I know they're relatively not new, but I think it would be fun. Also, ignore the yapping dog in the background. I tried to wait for it to stop, and it just won't stop, so I'm filming anyway, and also ignore the audiobook you can hear. My brother's bedroom is right underneath me. I can't do this. I'm barely surviving because everyone is at home because of the coronavirus, so I have to spend 2 weeks with my family in the same house. I'm going to lose my mind. Anywho, so for my rankings, I did by grades, because that's just the easiest way. I have A+, A, B, C, D, and F. Yeah, let's just get into it. So the first book I have, and these are not in order read, I couldn't be bothered. I'm too tired and just, I can't. So anyway, the first book I have is Stealing Thunder, which, I'm gonna put as a D. I was not a fan of Stealing Thunder. I felt like it was way too boring. It was hard to read for me. There was a lot of jargon, a lot of terms. It even had its own glossary, which I felt was a little over the top, but, it was just there was too many terms, and I couldn't keep track, and I lost interest pretty quickly. The next book I have is The Chestnut Man. I'm gonna put this at a solid C, just because I DNF'd this one. It wasn't bad, it wasn't, like, it was just not snagging my interest at the time, so I stopped it. The next book I have is a picture book, Christopher Pumpkin. I'm gonna give this a B. I don't read picture books, because to read picture books, you have to kind of suspend, like, not maturity, but, like, I found it, all picture books I find generally juvenile, and I know that's what they're meant to do. I don't know, I can't really take picture books serious. It's hard for me for some reason. But even so, it was a decent picture book. It was really cute, so a B. The next book I have is a travel quiz book. It's basically like, I think it's trivia. I don't really remember, so I'm putting it as a C because I don't really even remember reading that book. This one is, what's it called? A Review to Die For. I read this because my friend Miranda was a character in it, and I really wanted to see that. So, I read it. That said, it was like, it wasn't poorly written. It was just a little ridiculous. So I'm gonna put it at C. The next one is Problem Child by Victoria Helen Stone. I have an arc of this. It comes out March 24th, I believe. I'm putting this at an A. I loved the Jane Doe series. It's really interesting. It's really unique and creative. And though Problem Child, the sequel to Jane Doe, wasn't as good as the first book, I still really enjoyed it. This is the Wallflower Wager, and I just realized you can't really see the full covers, but, this is the Wallflower Wager. It was a historical romance that I read back in February, I believe. This one, it was okay. I'm gonna give it a D, C or a D. I'm gonna give it a D. It wasn't that romantic, and it wasn't that steamy, so not fun. The next one is One of Us Is Next, which is easily an A+. Oh my gosh, Karen McManus is one of my favorite writers. She's, in my opinion, one of the best YA writers out there. Her books are so well crafted, so well plotted. The characters are amazing. I love them. And this book was no exception. It's the sequel to One of Us Is Lying, which I read, I think the year it came out, 2017, I believe. And so that book is very nostalgic for me because that was like a really nostalgic summer when I read it. And I was super excited for the sequel, and unlike most sequels, it did not disappoint. It was just as good, if not a little better. The next book is Death in the Family, which I'm going to give... I'm going to give that... Oops, not an A. A B. This one, it wasn't bad. It really redeemed itself in the end, but that redemption still wasn't enough to get an A because it's still pretty slow in the beginning. The next one is Deep and Dark Blue. This was a LGBT fantasy graphic novel, and I'm gonna give this an A. It was really good. There was a couple scenes that made me cry. I really loved that they were able to work in the LGBT specific themes like transgender and gender identity into a way that younger audiences could understand, while still keeping it interesting and pretty realistic. Okay, these next 5 I'm gonna all put at a B. This series is a gay romance about mermaids. It was basically a gay, steamy version of The Little Mermaid. No, that's not a good analogy. Basically, it's about this boy who finds out he's a mermaid, and then this mermaid prince person comes and they fall in love and have sex, and it's just... it's interesting. I'm giving it a B because it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. It was very steamy, which I liked, and it was pretty interesting. Editing Tucker popping in here. It was at this point that someone called me, and for some reason that paused the video, so that's why my sentence cut off. Oh well, I just went ahead and moved on because I didn't know how and couldn't be bothered to figure out how to try to redo that in a natural and smooth way. So, enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so the next book I have is The Wonders of Nature, which I read because my friend Miranda really loved it. I'm gonna give it I'm so indecisive. A B. Yeah, a B. It was good. I loved the illustrations. It was very fascinating, but since it was mostly like I'm reading this because someone else loved it, I don't know. It was good, but not A or A plus good. The next one is, you can't see the title, but this is the Roxy letters, which I'm giving I'm leaning towards F or D. I'm gonna give it an F because it was bad. It was, yeah, it was really... I think there's an attempt at humor, but it was just awkward, uncomfortable, and frustrating at times. I really think I could see what the author was going for with this book, but they kind of missed the mark, so F. The next one is The Sundown Motel by Simone James. I'm gonna give this an A. It was really good. It was very creepy, a lot creepier than I expected it to be, and I really enjoyed it. Oh, the next one is The Toll, which is A+ for sure. Most of the YA books I've read this year have been pretty good. This is the 3rd book in the Toll series by Neal Shusterman. It's the finale, and that whole series is very good. It's a really interesting concept, and I was kind of worried that he wouldn't wrap up the series well, but he did, and I loved the ending. Okay, next one is another book I read because of a friend. This is Hot and Badgered by Shelley Lawrenston, I think it is. I am also going to give... Should I give this one a B? B. I'm going to give that one a B too. This one is basically about these men that turn into honey badgers. It's like a werewolf romance, but with honey badgers. And I read this one because my friend from school messaged me. She's like, I found this book with this like idea. I was like, yes, I want that. I need that in my life right now. So I requested it, and now I have all the books. I have only read one in the series, but I can't wait to read the rest of the series. Yeah, The next book, ooh, this one is a good one. I'm going to put this at A. Big Bad Cowboy by Carly Bloom. This was sent to me by, oh, I should have specified. Hold on. I'm going to put an edit at the beginning of the video, so you probably already know this. But all of these books were sent to me by the publishers for review. Anywho, Big Bad Cowboy by Carly Bloom was sent to me by Forever Publishing. I love all of Forever Publishing's books, and this one was no exception. It was really good. I like that they blended in, like, cowboy romance along with, like, a fairy tale twist. That was really interesting. The next one is The Night Country by Melissa Albert. Pains me to do this. I think I'm gonna give it a C. I loved the Hazelwood so much, like so much. I still love it. I think it's gonna become a movie, and if that is happening, I'm very excited for that. But The Night Country is its sequel, and it didn't live up to the Hazelwood at all. On its own, it was good, but compared to the Hazelwood, it missed the mark. I felt like I could have been happy with just the Hazelwood on its own, but oh well. The next book is Long Tall Texan, which was this was an A+. I love this book. This is by Lowry Wilde, and I've loved all of Lowry Wilde's books, but this one specifically was my favorite. It might be because of just, like, the mood I was in, like, we were traveling, and so that always makes me feel, like, nostalgic and happy when we're traveling and I listen to audiobooks, but I just really loved this one. And then by the same author, we have Valentine, Texas, which is an A, because, again, I loved it by the same author, so I love all her books, but this one wasn't as amazing as Long Tall Texan. And another picture book, I have Be Outrageous by, I think it's by Roald Dahl, and it might be by another author. I'm going to put this next to Christopher Pumpkin because, again, picture books aren't my thing, but oh well. The next one is The Perfect Son by Lauren North. I'm giving this one a D because it was very depressing, very bleak, and not all that creative, unfortunately. I think it's like an easy read, like, I'll read it, it's not bad, it's not horrible, but it wasn't creative, and it was kind of sad. The next one is, I think, I'm gonna go with a B. Undercover Bromance. Completely forgot to mention this, but, my friend Miranda sent me her arc of Undercover Bromance, and I just wanted to thank her. I'm seriously so grateful for that gift. I'm really happy that I got to read it before it came out, because I don't think I would have been able to wait, so thank you, Miranda. It's by Lisa K. Adams. This is a sequel to The Bromance Book Club, which is one of my all-time favorites. It is the best romance I have read in a while, and Undercover Bromance just, honestly, if someone told me, oh yeah, it was written by a different author, I could easily be convinced to believe that, because it felt so different compared to the Bromance Book Club. Like, the Bromance Book Club was a lot steamier. It felt like a lot more intimate, a lot more raw, whereas Undercover Bromance felt a little more cookie-cutter rom-com, which was pretty disappointing. Also, I hate the main character, Liv. She is so annoying. So that didn't work out for it. That said, it was pretty good. I loved the love interest, and I do love that author, so better luck with the next book. This one is Not If I Save You First by Allie Carter. I actually read this for school. It's a long story, but it was this really dumb assignment. It's, again, long story that I'll have to explain later, but this one is also, actually I'm going to give that one an A. It was pretty interesting. It was a pretty quick read. Yeah. The next one is The Antidote for Everything, which I already know is a C. This one I have mixed feelings on, but overall it was pretty grim. It didn't have the best ending, and it was kind of slow. But I did love the main characters. I loved the idea and the plot, so solid C. And then the final one I have is Score by Victoria Denault. I think that's the right name. I'm gonna give this one another, this is another B. This was a romance that I read on impulse because, this was yesterday, and yesterday was a Saturday, and I was bored, so I thought, I'll just read this romance, because I have an ARC, but the ARC wasn't sent to me by the publisher. I found it at a bookstore, and they were giving away the ARCs. So, I took the ARC mostly for the cover, and I was like, well, I've had this ARC for like 2 years, I'm gonna read it now. It was okay. It just, again, it wasn't anything special. Anyway, that's my tier list for the books I've read in 2020. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this video was so chaotic and, yeah, just chaotic and almost a little lazy. I'm just really tired and quite stressed about all the stuff going on in the world right now. But I hope you were able to at least enjoy a little bit of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.